Alright, hi people, it's Jason, and I'm here to do an unboxing and review for you guys today of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Remastered Mighty Morphin Red Ranger. So, yeah. Just the last bit of the remastered line, as well as the Lightning Collection figures for 2023. So, yeah. So, let's get to it. So, here's the box. On the top, you have the Power Rangers 30th Anniversary logo, and the Lightning Collection Remastered logo. Right here. On the bottom, you just got legal information, but right here on the front, you have artwork of the figure, which is nice. The Lightning Collection Remastered logo, render of the figure, and yeah, he does come with the Dragon Shield, which there's a lot to be said about that, and the marketing and everything of that. But yeah, and just the lighting effect pieces and everything looks good in all honesty, and it has the newer head sculpt first seen with the Lightning Collection metallic MPR red. Then it was used on the color swap version from the comics. Hold on one second. I completely forgot to get the metallic Red Ranger off the shelf. But anyways, just for when I do the comparison. But yeah. Anyways. So, yeah. Then the name of the figure, plastic-free packaging, and Hasbro. On this side, you have the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers logo, Mighty Morphin Red Ranger. Render of the figure holding the Power Morpher right there. Then the other side with the artwork of all the Rangers and the 30th anniversary logo, which looks pretty good. And then the back here, render of the figure again, holding the Power Morpher, just a bigger picture of it. The 30th anniversary logo. And then we have the figure itself with all the accessories it comes with. The height of the figure, which is 6.1 inches. Jason Lee Scott / Green No More. Mighty Morphin Red Ranger and everything. So, yeah. So, yeah, more of this bullshit. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Figure in the Power Sword. And then the bag of accessories. So just looking at the figure, this looks honestly really good. I really do appreciate this. So, yeah. Drop down hips seem a little loose. A little, like, maybe bent out of shape, but yeah, let's take a look at the figure in more detail in a sec. Alright. So we got these dark red lighting effect pieces, if you want to pose him with them. So, yeah, it looks like all the accessories are here, which is good. Holstered version of the Blade Blaster. Blade Blaster in gun mode. And the Blade Blaster in the sword or blade mode. So, yeah. Then we have a tiny version of the Power Morpher with the Tyrannosaurus coin and the red details, which you can barely tell that the red is on there because it's almost close enough to the regular red. But it still looks pretty good, in my opinion. And then for the extra hands, we have 2 fist hands. And then 2 hands that are supposed to be for holding open the Power Morpher if you want to pose them with them, which is pretty good. So it looks like I got all of the accessories. The downside, though, is this figure does not come with a version of this, the Jason head, which this is from the original release of the figure, which I'll compare this figure to in a second. I have this from the original release. There's only been, like, I think 2 Jason heads at all released. First being with the original release of this figure, and then in the... Actually, no, maybe 3. I know there's at least one more that got bundled with in the Jason Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack from, I think, either 2018 or 2019, whenever the hell that came out. Several years ago. And, yeah, where they packaged in the MMPR Red Ranger, I think with the Dragon Shield and the Zeo Gold Ranger figure with a head for him before they released the Gold Ranger individually with the Tray of Triforia head. But yeah. People have been speculating that it's because of Austin St. John's recent legal troubles where he was involved with, or seemingly involved with, a scam, I believe. I think it was where he scammed people out of money or some shit like that happened. And while I do understand Hasbro wanting to maybe avoid that, any links to that controversy, especially since, well, he is the original Red Ranger of the franchise, and he came back most recently for Beast Morphers Season 2. It's at the same time, like, that shouldn't really affect the toys or anything, and they should have really bundled in ahead, but I think they tried to either make up or find an excuse for that, where they included the Dragon Shield and the armbands from the Green Ranger figure on this. There's pros and cons to both of to the fact that we now have a removable Dragon Shield and the removable armbands, but yeah, it just kind of sucks. So yeah, it doesn't come with a new version of Jason's head sculpt, which, although if you have, I think, one of the older head sculpts, that doesn't even want to fit. Or does it? Oh yeah, that doesn't want to fit. I think the older necks had slightly bigger ball joints. So, yeah, the hole that is there inside the head for that to go in doesn't want to fit. So, you can pose him like this. It's just that the head's not very sturdy. Maybe the one of the 2-pack heads would work better, but yeah. So, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to take a much bigger look at the Power Sword. So, basically, I think that this is the same mold as the original release and the metallic version of the figure. But it just has more paint apps and everything. Let's get the original version out. Yeah, more paint apps, more vibrant paint as well. The handle is painted with the gold. You can see mine's already chipping in regards to the gold paint, or not gold, black paint from the original figure, which is funny because I've had the original version of the figure posed with this for years. But yeah, chipping away at the paint. But yeah, so you can see there's just slightly more gold paint apps. I don't think that this. Yeah, I don't. Oh, is this just a? I think this is a new mold in general as well, because like it looks to be. If I have this right, it looks to be a little longer. Like I think a little longer and a little bigger than the original release, and I think that might have been so that they could paint it better. I don't really have any problems with it. I'm just pointing out the differences. And now for the metallic version, because I think this is the same mold as the original. I'm just trying to line them up so that they can. Yeah, this is a slightly different mold. Yeah, you can tell with the, I don't know if it's really showing up that well on camera, but you can tell there's more fine and grained detail on the new version versus the metallic version. The handle for the swords is also like thicker, a bit thicker on the new one. But this is also a different mold than the original, it looks like. So, yeah, it's just weird. You assume that they just reused the same molds. Whatever. But yeah, so this honestly just looks pretty good. So that's good. Now for the figure itself. So this figure has a new helmet mold, like I said. And comparing him to the original release, you can see the big difference. And clean off the dust on this because it's just been sitting on a shelf. But you can see the clear differences between the helmets. And this has been a thing that I think people have complained about, and Hasbro has attempted to address a few different times. And basically, yeah, the original release's helmet was a bit thinner or more angular or something like that. Well, this is, I think, more accurate to the helmet from the actual show. But yeah, they do not. It still doesn't have the individually painted teeth. But in all honesty, I don't really care. It has a lighter shade of red than the original version, which I think is more accurate to the suits. There's more paint apps on the belt and better paint apps for the Power Morpher. Although the original release had the Tyrannosaurus molded right directly into the Power Morpher, whereas this is just like a stamp, I think, that they put on. But otherwise, I think it's fine. You can take off the Dragon Shield and the wrist or armbands just to, for 1 second, compare the details. Diamonds on this are a bit thinner, which is fine. It's probably more accurate in the long run anyways. Diamonds on the wrist cuffs are a bit thinner. Diamonds on the boots are a bit bigger, which is fine. On the back, yeah, this is thicker diamonds, it looks like, or at least they're a little bit. No, I think they're actually a little bit higher on this in terms of the paint apps. But yeah, so let's just get this back on for a moment. I'm probably one of the last people on Earth to get one of these because I believe they, like a lot of other Lightning Collection figures, they released early in like Malaysia or something like that, and people have just been buying from people who have secondhand sold them on like eBay or whatever over there. But yeah. So in regards to details, I think this is actually pretty cool, and I do like that we do have the removable Dragon Shield. So yeah. Yeah, I just honestly think that that's really good. Just let me. So yeah, if you just remove the head and undo the back bands where they are, you can just do that. And then for the arm bands, if you take off if you take out the hands and then move these down, you can take them off and you can place them on another, at least male figure. For the armbands, the shield will fit on female figures, but the armbands will not, because the armbands are thicker than the female figures usually get for arms. So, yeah, just letting you guys know that, in case you wanted to know. So yeah, unfortunately as well, there's no extra, there's There's no extra holster for the dragon dagger or dragon sword. Oh, not dragon sword. But whatever. The Green Ranger's weapon, like there was on the 2-pack version of this, that had the dragon shield and everything. But yeah. So whether or not that bothers you or not, yeah, I can understand that. But yeah. So, in regards to articulation, some parts of this feel a bit loose, so your mileage may vary. Head you can move in a 360, as well as a bit around. So yeah. Butterfly joints for the shoulders to move them back and forth like that. Move them remove the arms in a 90-degree angle right there. 360 right there. And then double ball joint for the elbows, which is nice. And then the hands can move in a 360 there, as well as a bit back and forth. The torso, yeah, just move back and forth, as well as all around. Like I said, drop down hips, or did I say that in this video? Either way, drop down hips for that. Move his legs up in almost a 90-degree angle. Move him around in a 360. Double ball joints for the knees. Move these in a 360, and I forgot. Also, or maybe not. Maybe not. Okay. Yeah, and then feet, you can move back and forth. It's not really a bad looseness, it's just looser than I expected. And then break the ankle. So, yeah. So, my overall thoughts. It's good that they did get a new version of this figure out for the 30th anniversary with some updated stuff that was very sorely needed from the original release. Oh yeah, I forgot to compare this to the metallic version. So as you can see, it's basically the same helmet sculpt as the metallic version got. So that's good. The metallic version, I think, is more in common in regards to the paint apps with the original version of the figure, so I'm not going to directly compare them. But, yeah, so the updated helmet is really good. Like I said, it was originally released with the metallic version of the figure, and then the color swap 2-pack for the Trini comic figure that was released a year or so ago. And yeah, and people, I have seen this. You could have taken the helmet off of that figure and put it on your original release of this figure, and it would work just fine. But yeah. In regards to not including a Jason head, I think that is probably the biggest con here. Although, granted, your mileage may vary. I personally don't pose these figures with with the civilian heads because I just don't see the point. And I don't really care at that point. But which is why I didn't really mind that the Omega Rangers didn't come with civilian heads, and some of the other Ranger figures didn't come with civilian heads. But if that bothers you, either get a Jason head from one of the other figures or just deal with it. But yeah, it is just a big disappointment that it doesn't come with another Jason head. On the one hand, I can understand, on the other, it's stupid. But yeah. But I think that this figure is more pros than cons. The updated helmet sculpt, the updated paint apps, the brighter red on it, the added accessories for the extra blade blasters, the updated paint on the power sword, the extra hands, the power morpher. I think that it's actually a pretty good figure overall. It's just some weirdness in regards to inclusion of certain accessories, and just not including a Jason head. But yeah. Again, though, that's up to you, and your mileage may vary on if you really care or not. I would recommend this figure to people who either A, didn't get the original release of the figure or the 2-pack version, or B, if you want a new version of the figure with a better helmet sculpt that has more stuff. So yeah, more paint apps. So yeah, so I think that this is probably the best of these figures because I didn't really have any problems with the older versions of the figures for the most part, outside of Red's helmet. Blue's helmet was the only other one I felt was a little wonky, but yeah, so yeah, again, your mileage may vary on how you feel about this, but yeah. So really not much else to say, so links in the description on my shit, subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.